Greetings, we're Zero, and we're here today with May from Made in India, and we are going to sing a song for you, and this one is called Mariachi.
A bed of screams is where I lay. You can never see my mind. Never looked, just acted blind. My dreams never went away. Feelings I never say. I can only breathe right now. See my life run through my mind. I can't stand the bad and cold. I try to breathe, my lungs they burn. I try to see, didn't wanna leave. I just can't live today. Too much hate, love leaves a stain. I just wanna give it now and see my life run to mine. My feet don't touch the ground. Breath breaks, can hear a sound. The darkness surrounds me now. Pain in my soul feels free. I see it slipping now. My life is slipping now. I was the one that you couldn't see. Why were you cruel to me? Nothing more I wanna say. Nowhere to go astray. I think I've lost this time. See my life run through mine. My feet don't touch the ground. Breath breaks, can hear it sound. Darkness surrounds me now. Pain in my soul feels free. I see it, it's coming. The end is coming now. I tried it, I heard it, you wouldn't. I see it, you never saw me cry. You never asked me why. I know it, you wouldn't. I know it, you see it. Why don't you give in now? Why don't you say somehow? I know it, you wouldn't. I see it, you feel it. You never saw me cry. You never asked me why. The world is not for me. This life is not for me. Come on. My feet don't touch the ground. A bright breeze can hear a sound. Darkness surrounds me now. I pain in my soul feels free. My feet don't touch the ground. A bright breeze can hear a sound. Darkness surrounds me now. I pain in my soul feels free.
Okay, so I'm terribly excited because I've got four old men. No, I'm kidding. Four really awesome people in the studio, including one more awesome fellow. Okay.
Awesome
We have
sauce.
got the 4 lads from Zero, Bobby, Rajiv, Sid, and Warren, and their biggest fanboy, Arjun S Ravi. Yay! I love that you're clapping for ourselves.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're coming for you.
We're clapping for your
Thank you.
300th episode. Man.
Yeah.
Like, what a momentous occasion.
I
Like,
know.
300.
wow.
This is Made in India.
In a room with 4 guys and 1 young guy. I mean,
Yeah,
5
okay.
guys.
5 guys and a girl. That's how it's gonna happen now.
Yeah.
So the reason actually you guys are together at this very moment, in the sense that you've reunited, is because you are playing the iconic iRock that's happening tomorrow.
Just for the record, we never stopped playing. We just took a 14-year vacation.
Oh, okay. Not a hiatus, as they call it. The technical term, no.
It's just a long vacation.
Long holiday. And then-
Sakina ka freeze is over.
I feel like this iRock is like a little fancier than what it was like a decade or so ago. So when was the last time you guys actually played iRock?
2008, and to be actually fair, iRock was always a big deal for us. It was the pinnacle of what we wanted to do. I think when we first started the band, it was say, all right, guys, let's make some music and do what? And then they were like, let's play iRock.
Yeah.
And even back then, when it was like just about playing iRock, going to Rang Bhavan and playing them,
Yeah.
Vada Pav in the back, we knew that one day we'd be old, grey and fatter, and there'll be fancy Jimmy burgers and shit, and there'll be like $10,000 tickets, and everybody coming for the gig would have a job. These are dreams we had, and tomorrow is the night.
So wasn't it that like a band dropped out and then you got called? Do you
Last
remember?
minute, the
Like
night
the
before the
loudest
gig.
band in India dropped out. Okay.
Do you know who they were?
The loudest band in India. If
Oh.
you don't know who the loudest band in India is, that's on you.
The gods. of
Everybody
metal.
Google
The
it,
gods
you'll
of
find
metal.
out.
The gods of metal, yeah.
So they dropped out last minute.
They're literally named after a god as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are.
The god of creation.
The god of creation. Listen, this is all recorded for posterity.
I can't wait. I'm excited.
It's true. None of this is not fair.
It's all
it's
fact.
true. It's
So
true.
it wasn't dropout actually, and Farhad.
I don't really. Yeah,
he's
there was
one
some-
It was a temper tantrum.
They drew the opening slot and they didn't want to open. So they said, okay, we're not playing for us. I said, okay, don't play. And then he asked Pentagram, do you know an up and coming band? And I think they had seen us at, one of them had seen us at Raz
Just
Randolph, yeah.
Right.
the
Yeah.
week before. So they said, call this band Zero, they're pretty good. So he got the call.
Yeah, and in a time when there were no cell phones or
Yes.
anything,
Yeah.
somebody
So,
called the house.
Shiraz
line.
had the Pentagram drummer had my number for something else. He was that guy have his number. And
Yeah.
Vadia called my house and said I wasn't home because I was at band practice with the boys,
Yeah.
miles away.
He and I were working at Malhar at one of the stalls.
Oh,
I thought he was
serious.
pranking me because we had booked our tickets to go to IROC because we crossed the road those days.
Yeah, yeah.
And I said, I don't shit with me now. He's like, no, it's serious. And I was
Raise
like,
my hopes.
yeah, I mean,
Emotional
Yeah, it
moment.
was like next to impossible that we would be playing there the next day and we bought tickets to go and see the gig.
Oh my god.
And
Is
for
it-
those who don't know or have not been to Rang Bhavan, it's now the venue is abandoned and you can't use it for amplified sound.
Yeah.
But it had an atmosphere and a vibe that was very much unlike any other venue,
Yeah.
probably in the country.
It's still
I'd
my
say.
favorite venue I've ever
Yeah.
played.
Yeah.
I'd say probably in the country as well. Yeah.
I mean, it's an amphitheater, right? So the minute you kind of enter it, you enter the amphitheater and you see this, graduating kind of a line that goes all the way up, and then there's a stage at the end of it. It just makes you feel. Those were the two.
That
there
you
was
really
Moodai,
performed
and
there.
there was that one that had this amphitheater vibe to it.
The first gig I ever saw was there. I was a kid and my parents went to see the police, so they put cotton in my ears and for 6
Are you
months. Or so.
serious?
Yeah, it was a few months.
I feel
old.
like everyone, my mom was there. I found out like everyone's parents were there for that gig. There are these like videos of that, and I was trying to spot like everyone. My mom was like, "We carried everything in our handbags because the ladies never got checked."
And that was the case, honestly, when I, as a fan, was entering IROC. If we had to get alcohol into IROC, we would put it in like a girl would wear like a wind cheater or something and be like jam packed with like, whatever, like literally the
From
whole
top to
thing,
bottom,
top to
wind-
bottom, just like
Front, front, back, sides.
Everything.
Or you could do like my cousin and just jump the wall at the back.
That was a lot of
Effort.
So I have to also ask, when was the first time, Arjun, you saw Zero live? And when did the love affair begin?
This is going to be such an embarrassing podcast. As we were talking last night, like I remember watching Zero live for the first time at the Kala Ghoda Arts Festival.
Oh, shit, we were just talking about it yesterday. I was like, I don't remember playing that. Where were we playing?
You guys were playing on the road, and you opened for a band at that time called Pythagoras and the Right Angles.
I wasn't there. I moved.
I don't remember opening for
I do not remember this, man.
I don't remember.
At that time, Kala Ghoda had the festival on the road itself, not on the side.
Used to have the stage on the road, yeah.
You were drinking from the Winchita stuff. or what?
Totally. And I was like, oh shit, this is such a cool band. And that time, like, I was a cynic when it came to Indian rock. Like, I was like, oh, everybody is only playing covers, and they're all fuck all covers, and it's all dated music. And then I saw these guys play their own music, and I was like, oh snap, there's something here. And then I got obsessed a bit, a little, a little, yeah.
But there was like a thing. Okay, so I also yesterday chatting with Arjun, and the thing that kind of set you guys apart at that time, I learned a term called OC, which I did not know was a thing. So can you also explain what OC is? Because I also was like, why is this a thing?
Dated,
I
I
think-
think, to the rock competitions of the time, because you would have to send in your set list and you would write like all the covers that you were playing, and right at the end now you would write OC and put these are our own songs that you would slip into the
own
the
comps.
original compositions,
Original
whichever
comp.
you want to look at it.
Yeah.
These are our own OCs.
And the thing is that all the bands that time that used to perform didn't need to play an original. They were just judged on the basis of how they would play a cover.
How tight they would
Yeah,
play.
how tight were they and things like that, right? Because I remember back in the day, I used to judge a few of these, and literally the sheet didn't have original composition, just be tight and you know what's their stage act and things. So bands that would play original songs needed to point out that this is our song, it's not a cover. So this is an OC. And therefore, you'd maybe get better or extra points for that. So it was a very competitive space.
Yeah.
But OCs obviously developed as a term. And you're like, oh, you don't have any OCs. Oh, no, we got 4 OCs. I think we were like...
We figured that if we played our own songs, they couldn't tell where we made the mistakes.
That was I guess at that time it was like, what are you trying to do? You're a band. Where do you want to go? What do you want to be? And we're like, I'm not sure, And then they're like, if you're a cover band, you can do this stuff and all that. And then where do you go next?
Yeah.
I said, we do not play covers. Put your originals out there, see where this goes. And we had at least I had no preconceived notions of where it was going to be. So these boys, I think, had.
Yeah, because I do know that the two, like Sid and Warren, the two of you are from, I'm quoting someone here on this, the other boys who went to Portuguese churches, what I was correct?
All of us,
Pretty
All
much.
of us.
So I know that, and Warren and I have talked about this in one of your episodes, is that you were part of Vicious Circle, which was Johan, Sid, Warren, and Sean Gomes.
Yeah.
And then Johan left, and then I found out that, like the Talwar brothers, that you were Johan's neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because of Johan, that's how you met these guys, or how did it happen?
Oh, no.
I knew them from Hindi tuitions.
You knew him from Hindi tuition.
Yeah, 6th standard and all. We used to go to, she was a tyrant here, so,
Maggie
we used to
teacher.
all get,
That was her name.
yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, Bobby and I were in 3rd
Yeah,
grade.
we were in
together.
school together as well.
Oh, you were
In Dada, everybody knows each other.
And our parents were friends since they were teenagers.
I was his
for
friend
sure.
since I was born. The day I was born, he was
You were
my
born, came
game
straight
attached.
out of the womb, and then
Pretty
you were
much.
like,
He's your
we
friend.
will be a bands will happen with us.
And when I used to jump with these two, before Vicious Circle
Rajiv
even,
and-
my mom forced me to take him. He had just moved back to town. And I was like, I don't even really know him that well. She's like, no, you have to take him and make sure he's, integrated into the...
Yeah,
Basically, one day,
So you're-
one day his mom didn't want him to go for band practice. She wanted him to study for his goddamn 12th standard exams. So she knew if she told him to take me, he wouldn't because he hated my guts. Okay, so she told him, you can only go for practice if you take SID. And he called her bluff. He was like, sure, I'll take SID. So yeah, thanks, Auntie Carol.
Wow. And this was like 12th standard. So 12th standard was when.
So
you
we
guys-
had another strange band at that time where
Okay.
we were doing covers and what was it?
Tantra.
Which song was it?
They used to
on
play
Heaven's Door.
that song by Wet Wet Wet. I remember that one.
But knocking on heaven's door is what
Yeah. So and then we had this guy who used to play solos and he's horrid. But then Warren turned up one day and is like, man, this guy can play some cool solos. I don't think you were playing solos.
No, I
at
was
that
strictly rhythm.
Rhythm,
But then after seeing that guy, I was like, okay, maybe I should try. You know?
and then Warren played that solo and he's like, he's pretty good. And then I remember seeing Warren for a competition at. Yes, he had glasses. And this
Warren
was
used
it.
to wear
Like
these
he was playing
glasses.
yakety
Yeah.
yak. The
Din, din,
acoustic-
din, 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 din.
Push your specs up.
in time.
Amazing.
I had to. Others took to form the guitar. So
Oh my gosh. That's really
anyway, so the
cute.
point being, we all kind of knew each other.
I think it's sometimes it's when you look back, it's just luck as to why the four of us started a band together and literally started. It's you can't make these things happen. Sometimes people are like, no, I'll get a good guitar player and we'll form this band and we
had fun
had
together.
We were
no
just
such.
guys from Dadar.
We were just like literally.
I used to be scared of Rajiv because once in tuitions
'Cause you're
I
the
asked him.
oldest,
No, I
right?
asked him for a pen. He said no, and also I was like, okay, this guy's
Oh, that could leave a permanent scar.
Yeah.
it's like this guy's
That
scary and all.
reaction,
Yeah.
He
yeah.
didn't give me a pen.
I never asked him anything again.
I was sent to boarding school.
I was in
Because of
boarding
that.
school too.
Yeah,
Which
so-
one?
Mount Abu, St. Mary's. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Promiti Viris.
I will say one thing that I did. I also found out this other thing, which was that said you were playing drums for Vicious Circle, but you decided like I'm not playing drums for Zero initially,
Initially, yes,
and
yes,
then
yes.
actually Bobby was going to be playing
Yeah,
drums.
we were
and vice
switching
versa.
instruments. There was one more guy, and the idea was to, besides him,
Wait,
everyone
are you
was
talking
to
about
switch
Carl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he got thrown out of the band.
What?
He did, what?
No.
Say?
No,
No, it's
Not
just like
Satan.
band practice moved to another place, and he didn't know where it was.
Yeah.
oh, got it.
They didn't have Google Maps at that time.
Oh, that makes sense.
there
He
was-
wasn't from Dadar. It just
Yeah, I
became a
was just-
problem.
Do you know?
Those two different
Do you know something interesting?
Let's see.
He actually works for Google.
That's real good.
He's gonna find out.
I know he will know.
And he's a PhD now, isn't he?
He's a bitch.
He's a very sweet guy though. But
Yeah.
the thing is, at that time we just had problem coordinating, just getting coordination among
He
us.
not live in that.
He didn't come
He
for
didn't.
one
Oh,
practice,
Jehu.
and suddenly, because of that, it just sounded a little bit tighter because there was
Are you serious?
That's really what
not
happened.
anything about him. It was just that there was less going on, so it
Yeah.
became a little easier. I
Yeah.
remember that because it just went off like a light bulb, like boom. This just infinitely sounded like because there was less to like listen to the other. What is he playing? What is he playing? I just had drums and bass, and I played guitar,
you
and I
played
just
No, and
kind of
I think
fell
it's
into
got to
place.
do something with Warren's sound because
Yeah.
because even today, like I mean, for a couple for these shows, I was supposed to play guitar, and I played the guitar, and when Warren plays his stuff, and the two guitars, it's not the sound; it just doesn't work. So
No,
for
fair enough.
somehow,
I guess I fill up too much room or something.
Yeah,
I mean, so much so
Sonically-
that when he left, they had two
They had
guitarists
two guitars.
to fill his spot.
Was
Yeah.
it like Posey and oh yeah?
It changed for a
many
while.
people
Many,
because
many
like
people.
one guitar player
Yeah.
just couldn't pull
Yeah.
off Warren.
There were like a bunch of them, right? I think it was like Posey, Da. There was like
yeah. We've had
Yeah.
rotation of everyone.
Yeah.
And a lot of bands we grew up listening to were that classic format: one
Yeah.
bass, one drums, one guitar, one singer. There was
Correct.
and Zeppelin and whoever. It was
Yeah.
kind of that was the template. So we just fell into
They were
that.
all from one geographical location. Juhu? No, you
no.
were not.
How dare you?
Which is why we don't play anymore.
Also, and this is, I mean, I don't know if this is true because I know that I think that Talwar House became like the jam pad because there was a drum
It
kit
did, it
there,
did.
and that if you guys didn't have any of that, that this band might have never happened.
Probably not.
Yeah,
No,
probably.
no way.
At
There
that
was
time,
no places to practice
Yeah,
back
there was
then.
not, yeah.
So if somebody in a band did not have a house to practice, There was no band.
You
With
didn't
the
practice.
Vicious Circle, we used to practice in my house. Then my mom would throw us out. Then we'd go to his house, and his
We
mom
got
would throw us
arrested.
out. So
We
it's
got
like
arrested.
We also got
the
arrested.
cops come in to decided to take all our stuff away. And
Well, they almost.
In your house,
Yeah.
Sid? Oh.
He lived right next to the cop station. That's why.
No. So the thing is, one politician complained because some friend of his called and complained. They said get them arrested. So they got us arrested. But a close friend of his was a close friend of that very politician's son. So about half an hour later, we were back out.
The son called and pretended to be his dad or some shit.
And then
just let him
the
go.
cops are like so pissed off. Like, first of all, we had no reason to arrest them. You called us, made us go arrest them. And then you call us back and tell us to let them go. What the fuck? So they're shouting at us out of anger, and we're like, just let us go.
Congratulations to Bobby and Raji for having a house.
No, so the house actually is, you're right, because if you didn't have a place to practice, anybody who had a house was in a band because you were like, yeah, I got a place and I'll play one of the instruments that's in the band.
Yeah.
It's like the kid who brings the bat
The bat,
to the
yeah.
cricket.
Exactly.
Yeah,
If you have a
Yeah.
band,
He
you're
broke
in
the
the
cricket.
And it has been that way since the 20s, okay, guys, all over the world.
Yeah.
Till now.
Yeah.
So at that time, because I was also into drums, I had a kit and a house, and then that's when, Sid and me were like, okay, you also want to play drums, I also want to play drums. But he was like, I also want to play bass, and for a while I remember playing guitar as well. So Warren and
we
me
all
used to play
switched.
guitar. So I used to play rhythm and he would play lead. So we've actually gone through, I think Warren's the only guy that stuck to guitar and,
Yeah.
Rajiv
Initially,
stuck
I used to play.
singing.
I used to play some guitar initially, and then
Drums also.
yeah,
The
drums
for a
also.
bit,
Then,
yeah.
I've
then,
seen
then
you tune the drums all the
Yeah.
time.
He always did.
Yeah. he
I
always
can't,
tune the
still
drums.
don't.
Yeah.
He used to
Yeah.
drive us also
Yeah.
everywhere in his Red Zen. So
Are you serious?
yeah, and then
all of us.
Yeah, but
was, yeah.
practice plays, and I mean, we got picked up by the cops as well because
Why?
you've seen the way we play, right? It's not
Yeah.
Heart
soft.
patient. Heart patient.
Yeah.
he was actually an outpatient.
So there
He
was a
died
guy,
afterwards.
and there was we used to not dampen the rooms or anything. It was like a
We couldn't. We
hall.
didn't know what to do.
Oh my God,
And
everyone and
we
walls
should-
are so thin. In
we used to throw bed sheets over the drum kit. And so many times Sid would miss it because he was like, I have no idea where the
the drums
cymbal
are,
is because there's
It was like pit pit pat pit 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 tip pit pit pat pit 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 tip tip pit 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 pat pat.
but yeah,
You had to
there's-
do what you had to do.
there was a lot of woes in the rehearsal space.
And
Yeah.
I think we did our time, man. That when we first started, we played some. We played some interesting shows.
I heard Raz paid you in sandwich.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Sandwich
know
and
why
beer.
There has been everybody. See, to be fair, in sandwich, dal and beer.
Beer, yeah.
They gave you a chunk or half of the entry thing, but you had to pay the sound guys. So one gig, then whatever we made went to the sound, and then they said, okay, you eat sandwiches and go home.
Are you serious?
We played 4 times in 2 weeks.
Four
Yeah.
times in two. It's like, at least we're getting some khana.
Yeah.
But we did get quite a good experience playing on stage.
Yeah,
as
the
a
stage
band.
act
That was
really
everything.
developed.
No,
there,
fair
yeah.
enough. Also, the first band competition you won was RAIT in
Yeah.
Europe.
Yeah.
And you guys got 35.
Oh, we didn't get it.
No,
we
we
did
didn't
not
get that.
get it. So anyone from RAIT
Yeah, please send
2000
our
when?
money.
No, 90.
You didn't
See
get
the-
paid the
see the thing-
35,000 rupees.
No. I don't remember how much the cash prize was actually a prize because the main thing was your prize is that you get to open for Brahma.
Yeah. But
Wow.
they turned the tables on
That's
us
a
and
pretty
Brahma
good
played
prize.
first and left home and we ended up playing at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
Actually, about 5 and this poor guy from another band, Neerav Gandhi, awesome drummer.
Yeah.
I was using his snare. So all night he's waiting there for me to take snare. He's like, mother chod!
Yeah, and we played a very long set. Huh? We started playing at 6 and I think like we went on like for an
Yeah.
hour and a
Yeah,
half
I-
because we were like, this is
Wow.
our moment. We have to like
We
milk
have
it
to.
for all it's worth. Yeah.
I remember
not
I
gonna
remember
get
seeing the
this
sunrise and all that. I was like, this is
Yeah.
cool. Never happened again.
Everyone else wanted to go home, but we were there.
were
Come on,
like,
you
nope.
listened to us.
I don't think there was
going.
anyone in the crowd at that time.
No, there was some Neerav waiting for his
All our friends waiting for us.
And
to
it was
go
a
home.
big stage.
Yeah.
And I was so pissed off,
It's
so
just
pissed off.
Next to that DY Patil ground, right? So
Yeah.
it's like,
DY
it was a huge ground. And we were so excited. We watched Brahma sound check for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing. 1 hour of kick drum. Wow. 1 hour of kick drum. And we also heard the beautiful line we'll never forget. Santosh, can we have some orange juice, please?
Those days, if you
All of
got
us
water,
remember this, I'm sure.
If you got water in the
you were
morning,
lucky.
man, we're like, play, fucking play. No, I want on juice.
Yeah. This is before Red Bull was a thing. It was all on juice. On juice.
Orange juice.
Orange juice.
Oh,
It's an orange
no.
juice,
It was a ketchup pack.
serious?
But Brahma was sitting on stage during sound check while the kick drum was being done, not by the drummer. Somebody else was hitting the kick and sound. I don't know.
That's very
But they were
weird.
sitting on stage and they were
Part
ordering
time.
orange juice. They were literally sitting like this on stage. Santosh, get some orange juice. They were like, finish your fucking sound check.
You can tell he's still traumatized from it.
Tell him. It's so bad.
They were Mahindra IROC before it was Mahindra.
And Rock.
Yeah,
I love that. So, by the way, the 35,000 that you didn't get, there's also another like a rock competition or concert where you were supposed to do Europe tour.
Oh,
That also didn't happen.
That was
GR.
GR.
Oh my gosh.
That's just because we didn't wear saris, man.
No, I was
I
serious.
think
really?
so.
He
They
didn't
sent
have,
Orange Street instead.
no, they won the previous year. I think.
Yeah.
So you guys didn't even get that.
No. So
I think it was just us because they told us, you know what, we'll send you to Norway, but you know you need to have you need to have an Indian element in your band because you know you guys are from India and stuff like that. And listen, and I was like,
That's so not fair.
it's cool and all that, you know, we're from India and stuff, but you know, it'll be contrived if you do that.
It was also at that time we didn't really have any idea of how to integrate it without it sounding superficial.
Yeah.
It wasn't really part
Like
of what
even
we were
Vishal
doing.
Shekhar hadn't become
that's the
big
way
yet,
to
so,
do
you
it.
know,
People have-
we didn't have that template.
I was quite annoyed at that time because we had some Swedish guy who was the judge at that time, and he was like, so he's a Swedish bass player who plays jazz, and he was like, listen, man, you know, you guys are playing rock and roll. Rock and roll is not an Indian form of music. I'll tell you what the fuck, man. You're fucking Swedish and you're playing bloody jazz, and you're telling me that you know we in India can't play fucking rock and roll just because it's an American style of music. And the most popular bloody rock and roll bands out of the UK.
That was quite a thing back in the day, though. Like, if you were playing English music, you were already like, you know,
An outcast.
perceived as a band that was not clear about
Like
what they
second
wanted to do.
generation
Yeah,
shit.
you know, you're not supposed to be doing that.
Or
It's
at
not-
least
but
not
it's still there.
good enough to represent India at
Yeah,
an international
yeah,
stage.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
everybody wanted that. Even Uday, what was it? Arms for Shanti.
Yeah.
That kind of sort
Yeah,
of
they needed something.
Indo-fusion.
The
sound.
promoter from Norway was
Yeah.
supposed to do that exchange program. They literally told them like, this doesn't sound like an Indian band. They sound like any American band. So what's the sense of getting them from India?
Yeah.
If we want a band like this, we'll get them from America or from London.
Wasn't there always? I feel like there seems to be like this weird resistance thing. Not that you guys don't have like a very loyal fans, but like I feel like there was this resistance of like I didn't really understand the OC thing, which was like, you know, like Arjun and stuff would tell me that like, oh, if you had original composition, people would like take that chance to go pee and come back or boo you. You guys weren't metal enough. You went like. What was all this stuff? Like, did this like irritate you that like, why can't we just?
But that's also what set them apart, I think.
yeah,
Because
like-
everybody was playing these shitty covers. And even if they were playing original music, it sounded like a budget version of those shitty covers. And when they started playing original music for the first few years, I don't think people gave a shit that much about like Lucy and all of those sort of songs.
We were kind
or
of in a
whatever.
weird place because
Yeah.
we were not mainstream enough to be niche, and we were not niche enough to be mainstream.
Mainstream.
So,
And we didn't have a look. I remember turning up to these all these competitions. In you know, you had a certain look. A band had a certain look. You know, there was elements of
Black t-shirt,
you know,
long
black
hair and-
t-shirts,
yeah,
long hair.
black
You know,
nail
kind
polish.
of wet with gel and shit like that. And you know,
thing is,
nail polish.
competitions-
And we used to just turn up from like college. You know, with like
We looked like
t-shirt
we
and
literally
jeans
came
and
from
all that.
college
And they're like, who are these boys? What are they doing? Who the fuck are these? Why do they think they can play rock music? And we didn't. We played Beatles covers, so which was kind of cool.
In college, we looked like we came from a rock show, though. So
But competitions were the main place. Like if you wanted to discover, like right now, tonight in Mumbai, there are probably like 5 gigs happening, you know, in just like one pin code. But at that point in time, if you wanted to discover a band or see a band as well, competitions was the place that you had to go. You had to be at RIIT, you had to be at Moodai, GIR, IROC also had a competition. Like everybody had it was like, that was the predominant template of watching rock bands in India was competitions. And that's once also I feel like maybe all the bhav that Zero started getting was once they started winning competitions. They went through I think like, RAIT, all of those things. Like then suddenly everybody was talking about like, oh shit, this is the band plan to.
We did Murai 3 times.
Yeah.
And then we won on the
On the
third
third,
time we took
yeah.
part. After that, we did GIR. And after that, we were like, okay, that's it. No more.
No more competition.
No more competitions.
But in Bombay, there were only 2 gigs. There was Murai and there was Independence.
I
Rock.
know.
That was it.
Yeah.
There was only 2 big gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you play Jazz by the way or Raspberry. Jazz or Raz.
Jazz or rap.
And also, there was a long time before that there was the metal movement was a lot larger. And
Yeah.
Bangalore had this huge, Delhi had a huge metal scene. Bombay
Yeah.
also had, the metal was like the thing. Like they were gathering and there were large communities of metal
Yeah.
followers. So that was the audience that we were suddenly now
Yeah.
going and playing to. So to them, they were like, but we like metal and we like black
What are
t-shirts
you
and
doing?
what are you
Yeah.
guys
The
doing?
thing is, college competitions encourage bands to play heavier music.
Yeah.
Because if you were there, you only have 15 minutes. In that, you're going to try to play as much stuff as these like engineering kids at the front are going to go wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the more technical that you could play it, the better. The songwriting was sort of took a backseat to the actual tightness or technical aspect. Oh man, he's playing double bass at like 900 BPM and like whatever, like was a thing. It's in fact why a lot of people love Warren. Because like, I mean, he's technically incredibly proficient,
Yeah.
but he's also a great songwriter. So so many of his engineering student fans love him because he's like technically fucking amazing and everything. It's just that he's got this other great songwriting talent as well.
I guess my
behind it.
influence was all the older guys, like
Yeah.
Jimmy Page and David Gill. They never really did too much of the. I mean, the songs were the where they showed their
their
true
thing, songwriting. But their songwriting, nobody gave a shit about. It was like,
And the thing you were talking about, getting all this flack initially when we went out, it was. I kind of look back and I kind of miss those days because it was. I mean, if you messed up, people let you know about it,
Yeah.
and they let you know about it like where you could get physically hurt.
Yeah.
So there'd be fights. People would come after you like you screwed that song up. I'm going to beat you up.
Whoa.
Yeah. So and I think nowadays people, at least the geeks-
predominantly men, young men, high levels of testosterone, very aggro, limited opportunities to engage as a community. Now somebody is like fucked up your favorite Slayer song.
And if they have jobs now, they'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah,
They will be there tomorrow.
I find it.
Yeah.
I find it very funny when the anchors or those, people have to hype the crowd and say, make some noise. We have to say, shut the fuck up, we're trying to play.
So what is the second song you're going to play for me today?
Wish.
I wish we
Can you
knew.
tell me about which?
Which was written for the Great Indian Rock compilation of some
Yeah.
year in the
Oh.
early 2000s. And again, because of this whole metal thing, we were like, okay, let's try and write something that'll, stick
Yeah.
out at these competitions or whatever.
Oh.
So I had this riff floating around, and then it became like we had learned to collaborate at that point.
Learn to
as a-
collaborate?
as an entire band. Otherwise, you would like bring in ideas and kind of, say, okay, you play this, you play that. That
Yeah,
sort of thing.
because
So
I
this
know
was
that like at least in the first with album and the demos for that was mainly like Sid
Discuss,
and
yeah. It
Warren,
was around-
right?
yeah, our
We were
stuff-
already writing
yeah.
before the
Yeah.
band.
We
huh?
came into Zero with like a whole bunch of songs already
Stuff.
written. Yeah.
And I think Sid actually was singing on like a lot of the
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
from like album and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So cool. So next
Because
is
that was the early stuff when we used to switch instruments, remember?
it's like roulette. I love it. Okay, so next up is Wish.
Standing nearer, trying to find me. I've been living alone. Seeing clearer, tears they wash me, sinking slowly like a stone. I've been thinking, time don't like me. All they want is a better life, a better life. I wish I was, 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 I wish I was a better I was better alive. Better alive. Easy money, faithless women. Will I ever know the score? Devil faces, how they haunt me, leading me to find the door. I've been thinking, and time don't like me. All they want is a better life, a better life. I wish I was, 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 I wish I was a better life, better life. I wish I was, 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 I wish I was a better life, a better life.
Yes. Yes. I can, but this is a long interview. I have more questions. So I'm like, are there only 3 songs? Okay, thank you. They're talking.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
The voices in
The
your head.
voice.
They call it Jesus. No.
We see
There's
that.
a nice
Yeah.
Tough on Tobacco song called Voices in My Head.
Yeah.
Like I have a Jesus song.
Hey, I saw Fancy Pants.
Zero
on-
has a song called
Zero has a
Dear
song
in
called
Bangalore.
Jesus.
There's this place called
Yeah.
Fancy
Yeah.
Pants.
Oh my God,
Which
that
was one
intense.
of Farhal Wadia's favorite
Yeah.
songs. He used to love that because it reminded him of Southern rock.
Dear Jesus.
He used to love that
No
song.
way.
Yeah, so I was mixing stuff in the studio.
Boss, it reminds me of the Lord.
It reminded him of Lynyrd Skynyrd, he told me.
Listen, is there a plan at iRock
Too.
for Farhad to
To
join
get-
you? Has he?
He doesn't have a visa. He's not
Yeah.
here.
He's not here.
No, he's really sad about
I
it.
thought of getting him to sit on his back porch and send us a video of that.
Oh my God.
We didn't do it in time.
But are you gonna do Mustang Sally just as a tribute?
No, we can't play covers.
You can't no covers.
Only OCs.
No,
Covers.
no.
Only
In
OCs.
Only
Yeah.
This time.
Yeah, no, only OCs.
Full
no.
circle.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
It's good though.
By the way, I'm really so I had obviously did so much digging for this interview.
Come on,
and
bring it out.
I'm so excited.
Let's see what you found, because we don't have anything. Yeah.
I'm a real nerd, so I like listen to everything, and Arjun was kind enough to give me because album and procrastination are available on Spotify and stuff. So I actually had to like, please donate the music to me, and
Just FYI, I've pirated all your music.
so just
we.
I
Hey,
just
Send it to everyone on
Album.
the internet.
by the
We
way, I
encourage
just
it. We
realized
encourage
that you
it.
have to now explain to people what pirated means.
Piracy is still a thing, no?
One
No?
second,
No.
300 episodes, and this is the first time it's come up.
Yes.
Dude, there's
Everyone's
a whole
very young.
generation.
Okay, you know what Spotify does? It's the same thing, except instead of one motherfucker making tons of money, nobody makes money.
I actually like went back and listened to everything, and it was so much fun. And there were, I feel like, you know, when you're like rediscovering everything all over again. By the way, like some of my favorite songs are also the weird. I loved Found.
Oh yeah.
Found is so
Found was
Found wasn't a vicious circle.
Found was a
song.
vicious.
That was actually the first song we wrote together.
Loved
Deep cut.
Found. The Bounce Chicka Wow guitars are
Wow.
they are
That's how he was born.
Those funk guitars, they came from an Orange Street song called Saint Sinner. That's similar kind of a pattern. One of my favorite guitar players, Gautam Chima. So if he's listening to it, yeah, thanks for that riff, bro.
So many
It's
deep
really
cuts.
good. It is. And also best lyrics. Was it Found You in My Heart? Found You in My
That was
Brain.
don't
my
look at me.
brain?
See, he called me one morning at like 8 and said, hey, my uncle is over, which his uncle being Loy Mendonca, who I hadn't met in some years. So he's like, come, meet him and all. So I went over and Lloyd already left. So he looked
Yeah.
at me apologetically. He's gone, but I have some new chords. So he played these chords and then that chorus popped into my head immediately. And I think I finished the rest of the lyrics in class in college, which is what I normally did.
I loved it. I don't know why.
I
that's
also
something
love
about
that
that
way because he wrote that song the previous night and he played it to his dad. This is before I had heard it, so it was just basically chords. And he played. Dad, I wrote this song. His dad listening to it. Like, where's the song? This is just chords.
Wow. Brutal.
Though to come full circle, when we
harsh
did that
critic.
first album,
Yeah.
my dad didn't have a CD player, so I recorded it for him on cassette, and he listened to it, the whole thing, and he said, "Man, you guys have really written some cool songs."
Aw, that is really sweet. Actually, talking about the album, you guys pretty much like recorded this,
Oh my god.
in your house.
it was
I
already-
do
His
know
veranda.
some like weird details, like you used Warren's grandfather's mic bought from Lamington
Lamington
Road
Road.
called Sound of Heaven.
Yes.
Correct?
And wait till you hear about the mic filter.
What was the
It
mic filter? So,
was-
Sonu will tell you. What's the mic filter,
Tell that,
Rajiv?
tell that.
Jockey underwear.
I told him,
Seriously, it was-
listen,
I heard it was Rupa.
It's got the right thread
no,
count.
no,
jockey,
right?
jockey,
Yeah, it's the
jockey.
right thread count
Yeah,
for
yeah.
us.
Jockey, not
Yeah,
Rupa?
yeah, yeah.
Okay then.
I had read online that you can use a stocking as a pop filter. So from
Yes.
stocking, it became chutney.
Chutney.
So,
Next best thing.
Excellent job. Also, that no live drums, the Fruity Loops.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And we had a computer. I had a computer
Yeah.
then, and we had like 8 MB RAM.
I think you had the most out of all of us. You had 16 MB.
he had the fastest
Wow.
computer, so we
Wow.
recorded in his house.
And then at the back it was open because it was getting too hot. And then we found this one app which was a meter that showed you how much of the memory was used. And we were programming stuff and we were recording. I remember Warren and me were sitting in the balcony over there, and we'd keep an eye on that meter. And when it came to about 12, it would start clipping. So before it came to 12, we would punch in and then wait for it to go down and then start again.
Yeah,
crazy.
the buffer thing, and then the processor started overheating. So we take out the heat sink and put it in the freezer.
Yes.
And that would buy us like extra time. Yeah. All low tech
This
solutions.
is like amazing.
But for its time, it was cutting edge.
Yeah, that was Warren. man.
Yeah,
Warren,
I think
Warren
like
mixed it,
for
yeah.
its time, what you guys were doing on FL Studio and all the programming that Folly, everybody was
See,
doing
it
at
did on
that
Cool
time.
Edit, bro. The album was done on Cool
Cool
Edit, bro. Just drums weren't
Drums
What
on
on the
Loops.
Fruity Loops, yeah. But like
Let
all
it
of that
go.
stuff was just about you guys were also sort of coming in where all of these whatever DAWs of that time were sort of becoming a thing.
It wasn't even normal for him.
Yeah, it
was
wasn't.
just him doing
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So that was like the cutting edge thing. Now, if you look back at it, yeah, it seems damn retro.
Well, the
tech.
cutting edge stuff cost a lot of money. That was the thing. It wasn't affordable. So
Yeah.
we were making do with what we had. And I started at around that time working at Farad
Farad
Studio.
Studio, yeah.
So
Yes.
then suddenly I was, okay, this is actually what good recording gear sounds like. And then the next album, which was Hook, we utilized all that extra.
studio.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I also know that there was like an assembly line production for the burning of the CDs and the printing of the little foldable thing that goes in the paper and all, and some 200 CDs for the albumed launch gig at Strike 10.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
Come on.
Because now we had the stuff, so we had to put it out, right? And there was no way that we could print it because
I was leaving.
Yeah, and
You were
Rajiv
leaving,
was
it was
leaving, so we
2000,
really
yeah.
needed to get stuff done. And that time you could get CD burners, and Sid used to work in a.
So this was before this. The first one is all your house. Mohit, little
Oh,
Mohit
yeah,
sitting.
that's right. So we had one CD burner.
It was Ayush's CD burner. It was. We took it out
Ayush's.
from his computer and put it into his.
I got all the information. Thank you.
So this really this cousin of mine, Mohit, who was also there, and he would see us because we'd know that it takes so much time to burn the CD.
Yeah.
So the CD would go in, and then there would be this meter that would say that it's almost coming.
Yeah.
So my cousin would keep looking and be like, "Bhabhi bhaiya, khatam ho gaya."
He was like 5 years old.
This
Huh?
small little
It's
guy.
like 5-year-old kid. So cute. He'd just wait in front of the computer, waiting for that red button. And Bobby, bhaiya, ho gaya. Put next
That's
one.
really
So
sweet.
then would pop out, then we put the other one in.
Little
and-
child labor there. In
Yeah,
the
yeah.
production
Moed is
line,
probably in
too.
his 30s.
Cousins.
Yeah,
that's
most
what
of
that
the
they're
gig.
for.
So he's like,
Fair
yeah.
enough. Cousins, of course. So there's also like we were talking about, like I said, like this is, I feel like a different time. Like even now, like as we're talking about it, I feel like we really came from another era where you're talking about like pirated and dial-up connections. And there is a website from like 2000, 2001 called zeroband.8k.com, which I went on Wayback Machine and we saw it. Oh my God.
That's the name of our WhatsApp group, by the way.
Is it?
Which again, our friend Ayush made for us.
Correct.
And he just saw the WhatsApp group yesterday. He's like, "This is your WhatsApp."
Correct. Also, there's like some words in here like that I don't even know. There was something called Harmony Central.
Yeah. That's
I didn't even know what that was. I was like, I've never heard of
It's
this.
a music gear forum where you would find out about, like, if you couldn't try the stuff, you would go and read reviews. That's all I did every day. Would just read reviews about.
Of course. But this is so I wanted to also talk about the fact that like Rajiv, you did bring up the fact that you were leaving in 2000. Was that like a bit of a transition for like everyone? Because I think college was kind of ending. Because Rajiv, you were the oldest. You were like, I'm out. And then you went to the US, Temple University, biochemistry. I know. And Bobby was in government law college.
That's right.
That's hardcore. And then our wonderful Kuto was here doing arts at Xavier's.
Time
And
pass.
Warren wasn't really in college. What were you doing? You weren't even.
I was supposed to be attending Lokmanya Tilak College of Engineering in Kopar Kherne, but it was too far, so I would go to Xavier's and attend his classes.
His guitars in college is cool.
Yeah, I would answer questions in his class and all.
Are you serious?
It is mass comm class.
Oh my gosh.
You've been for several classes and you answered several questions. And also once, I'll never forget this because he wrote in Devanagari in my book. Okay, once he'd come for my class.
What?
And he writes in Devanagari for some reason, first of all, and then draws this little picture and he goes, and you have to translate from Devanagari to English because like, I met my babe and she told me today Elvis is still alive.
What?
I know it now and I'm happy and gay. Elvis is still alive. Grow your sideburns, wear bell bottoms. Elvis is still alive.
All in Hindi script.
And something else, blah, blah, lasun. Elvis is still alive. Elvis is still alive. And he passes this, he writes this and he passes my book back to me and I'm...
What is happening?
And then he looks at me and then we start singing. I met my babe and she told me today Elvis is still alive. I know it now and I'm happy and gay. Elvis is still alive.
But this whole thing of like writing in your notebook, isn't that how, didn't you write?
Yeah.
I am zero
Yeah, yeah.
and
That's
that
how I
was
came
zero?
from,
Yeah.
That's true?
The band name came before the band. It was just like, this is a cool name. Should form a band. Yeah.
Did none of you disagree?
Oh, we had some, but as soon as he said it, we were like, yeah,
Yeah.
fine.
And I think it happened.
It was on
at-
hold. The thing
yeah.
is like that was the idea and the band formed. And then we were like, chal, we'll think of a better name eventually.
It was better than Vicious Circle.
And then that was the old band, so we couldn't keep that.
Fair enough.
And then we had to like put in our name for IIT for
Mudai,
and
yeah.
then we were like, have we come up with another name yet? No. So at that point it was the Zero Band. So
Yes.
this is the change we made. Cut the and cut the band. Just
Zero.
This is like that Facebook movie. They cut the in the Facebook.
Or how the Silver Beatles became the Beatles.
And there was like
Editing.
none of you had thought of anything that
We had
wasn't-
more important things to
Yeah,
think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were
You
like,
know,
what's...
I think generally.
Avial was our second choice.
No, I think generally we were never that intense about like anything unless
Yeah.
it was borrowing equipment from each other. I think everything else, it was like, yeah, it feels right. Let's just do it.
See, it wasn't the 2000s and the 2010s. The marketing wasn't a concept. It wasn't like to kids now. It's all about how can I market myself on fucking Instagram. So it's become
You're so
common
mean,
culture to
huh?
be. It's just common now. It's
Fair.
common culture to
But-
try and fucking shove your face in everybody else's.
Our goal was to
It
play
wasn't
independence
then
rock,
back
man.
then.
So,
Yeah.
Literally.
So this thing of, I think that's the thing that is interesting for me to understand about, and I'm sorry to say this, the band's journey. But there was a moment where obviously Rajiv had gone, had gone to the US, And this was 2000. I think you came back in 2001. Yeah. And then 2004, like Warren, you were in Auckland in New Zealand. And so there's constantly this like movement of you're not all in the other anymore.
Yeah.
And so was there like a feeling that, okay, we're going to do this now and then that's it? And so, because the last IROC was 2008. And then everything after that is Secret Set reunion gigs.
There were 2 more IROCs actually.
Was there?
I
There was a tour you guys
because
did in
I came back
2010.
from NZ for a short while, and
But that was just Blackstad.
Yeah, I ended up playing with Farad.
Yeah,
and,
that
and
was
Loy,
Blackstad though.
Loy and Jay were the band.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Zero didn't play. again.
Zero didn't play, but
Yeah.
our last thing as a band was 2004. I remember, and then I flew to
No,
Auckland.
that's
after.
what,
As
with
this
you in the
lineup.
band, it was 2004. The last
Exactly, was 2008.
and the last one he played, there was the last gig ever at Rang Bhavan. We were the last band to ever play at that stage because we headlined that gig and the next day
3-3.
it was locked.
Yeah. 2003.
Closed off.
Oh, that's awful. Would you, like, if they were going to do Rang Bhavan, would you come back?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
but
that'd be
have
amazing.
you
There
seen
with
it? It needs to
bells
be
on.
like if you get in Hansu and like some other forest experts. and
There
shit.
is-
And we have to get our
No,
peaches back.
they do non-amplification like plays and stuff
What
over
am I-
there on that stage.
They make
Amongst the
No,
weeds.
Baba, it's just
No?
covered in
It's
moss.
just covered in moss now?
It's just
They
covered in
used
moss.
to. They had like theatrical whatever.
Now,
just
the
like
FRRO is
like,
right
oh.
behind it, so I pass it sometimes.
But there is possibility that something may happen there. So we're keeping our fingers crossed.
Oh my God, don't give us high hopes and all, yeah. But also, I mean, one more thing I do have to ask you about, like, gigs in general, is that there is some, like, just violence that happened at your gigs. I know that Rajiv has lost his shit and broken
It was a different time. man.
banned
It
from
was,
Xavier's and all. Oh, I heard. Oh.
I guess it was a different time. It was. I
was
guess we were
angrier then.
younger. We, like I said, the audiences were not as receptive, and I guess there was a certain point in time where we used to go and antagonize people. Like we'd go for. I remember playing at Rang Bhavan once, and all we did is originals and Beatles covers. And I think we played more Beatles covers than originals. And
It was
people
the
got
Festival of
really
New Noise.
pissed off.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's called Festival of New Noise, and we were playing Beatles. So I think
Excellent.
we kind of antagonized a few people, and yeah, I don't know. I guess I was in a different space at that time. I had a very short fuse.
Talwar is a Punjabi last name, guys.
Oh yeah, sorry. Forgot.
There was one gig, the guy kept shining, those laser lights into this guy's face, and I could see he's about to lose it. But luckily, he managed to make it till the last song. And the moment the song got done, he jumped off the stage to catch that guy and whack the hell out of him. Bobby puts his bass down. Sonu, wait. We trying like imagining the Bobby saying, "Don't fight, take it easy." Puts his bass down. I'm also coming, and he also jumps.
Are you serious?
And Sid and me were like, "Okay, boss." Yeah, like,
And at that time, we started touring with Pentagram also. So it was it was a bit too much because Vishal also had some interesting moments, and we had some interesting moments, and
Excellent.
yeah.
Yeah, but that time the audience would never hold back. So if they had to say something or do
They would
something,
just throw stuff at you
they'd
and
throw stuff
boo
at
and-
us.
Also, in your 20s, you can hate people and get hate and shit, and you heal quickly, man.
Yeah, man. And you don't care. You're
I
like,
was
fuck,
recalling
yeah, cool.
an incident when I think it was the first time when IROC went to Chitrakoot. And Chitrakoot, it was a parking lot.
Yeah.
Chitrakoot, the ground. Like, that's actually a parking lot. And it was totally uncovered. And it was full of stones and things. And I think you guys had played, like, you remember these wall of death scenes used to happen and everything? Especially during PSP breakdown and everything, there'd be wall of death scene. So I'm on one side, wall of death is coming. So much adrenaline at this point in time. I'm not feeling anything. I'm ready to go. And it happens, breakdown happens, we all come, clash, I fall down, I get up, there's a rusted nail sticking out of my hand. Yeah. Wow. These are the scars that I have from Zero.
So when, I mean, obviously we've just gone through an entire pandemic and all kinds of stuff. When was the last time you actually performed together? Was it 2017?
18, Shillong,
18.
N87.
17 was in Mumbai, and then 18 was in Shillong, and that's the last time.
Where in 2018 in Shillong, Warren didn't even turn up for sound check.
Yeah.
I think he landed
Yeah.
We got to the venue like 5 minutes before we were supposed to go on stage.
Yeah.
And you didn't come
I flew in from
any
Singapore.
rehearsals.
No.
Yeah,
So
there was no
Bobby,
rehearsals for
him and
that.
I think we had one rehearsal. I don't even
I think we
remember
ran
having
through-
that.
Yeah, I think we just ran through at soundcheck.
Yeah.
I just
What,
landed
he
up on
wasn't there at
stage.
sound
I wasn't there.
No,
I just
we
plugged
ran
in my
through
guitar and
Pentagram,
started playing.
remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Pentagram
half
and Zero
Penta, half
soundcheck
Zero.
together. Because
Together.
Because
Pentagram
half
was
of
also, yeah.
Penta was not there, half of Zero was not
I
there.
flew in with Vishal from Singapore.
What?
Yeah, it was a strange
Oh
gig.
my gosh.
So it was like two half
Shillong,
half
shillong,
bands.
shillong, shillong, shillong.
But it's kind of, now that I think about it, even Zero reunions, it's kind of a vicious circle. Like, I mean, after a point, every gig was a sort of reunion gig.
See, the thing is,
Yeah,
it's-
every gig was like and it.
See, the thing is, it's this marketing, right? People are like, hey, Zero's reforming, Zero's reunion. I said, no, man, we're just
we
playing.
didn't break up.
But exactly.
Never broke
At
up.
no point did we ever say we
Yeah,
are broken up.
exactly.
It's just like Rajiv has moved to London now, so we are stopping playing.
Now our motto is zero. We play when we can.
Or when you pay us. Give us our
I-
tickets and we'll be there.
So this was the difference between Arjun and I. So Arjun is like the one who's seen you throughout your whole journey. And so when people ask me when I saw Zero, I was like, I've only ever seen Zero play secret sets. Like that's my experience. So it's really like I feel like because there was an entire generation, because you're talking about Ayush, right? Like, and how he'd started the zeroband.8k.com website. One of the things that he pointed out, which I thought was so interesting, was that at the time that you guys had formed, if the band had happened 5 years later, 2005, like that time, it would be completely different band. It was a completely different time when it came to the internet. It was a completely different time of like, and I was like, oh my God, he's absolutely right.
But that's true of so many things. If Johan, who played bass with Vicious Circle, didn't go to the US,
Yeah.
there wouldn't be a band.
Absolutely.
If Carl turned up at rehearsal that day, we would have been a different band. And we think about there are so many things.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying for us, Zero is literally one of those things where it was just supposed to
Felt
happen this
organic.
way, and it
Yeah.
felt right.
And I think from a marketing perspective, people say that we came up, pre the internet age, but no, we did not.
Yeah, it was just the right time.
Yeah.
We came in where there were these forums happening. We would
Gigpad.com.
there was Gigpad. There was a lot of stuff that happened on Gigpad, and then we had the website, but we made another website after that, which is really, really cool.
What Me Zero?
The What Me Zero website. There was this guy who designed it for us. Brilliant. I think it's still a really cool website, but we now put it out because we were just lazy.
Yes.
But
Very.
I think the internet
album's
really
called
helped us.
Procrastination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Hook, right? When you pirate it, what are you going to do? You're going to put it on a torrent and give it to people, and that's
That's how it happened. So you guys also played gigs in like Calcutta and Nagaland where you never performed.
Yeah.
People were like, play that song.
exactly.
Because
It was interesting.
Our thought process was that if people listen to the music, they hopefully will like it. And it was never a means to earn
think, yeah,
any
very
kind of
quickly.
money, because you wouldn't earn money by selling CDs. There was no streaming websites or platforms, right? So for
Yeah.
us, it was like, how can we play more gigs? So the whole thought was like, let people listen to the music. In fact, we encouraged people. I mean, on Hook,
Yeah, you wrote that.
Sid brought a CD the other day, and you literally need to read it in the mirror.
Yeah.
And over there, it because it's a mirror image on the CD
The label is printed in reverse.
That's
in reverse.
excellent.
And it's this long ass message.
Yeah.
It's just funny shit we came up with late in the night.
But
so
the purpose
beautiful.
is that you take this and you pirate it and you give it to whoever you can.
Yeah.
Please
And-
like, share, and subscribe.
The YouTuber is what is today's line. Correct.
Yeah, that's the line. So you know what? I'm also, this is the thing of, we're talking about your music and the stuff that you'd sort of written. And I know this is like with any artist that I featured, this is like my 300th episode. My usual question is like, so what new music are you working on? Like that's literally the huge question I'm asking. But I know that you guys have performed new stuff. I remember at the Secret Set, didn't you guys perform like a song called Fucking A?
But that
so
was
they
one-
were
an
like
epic one.
There were a couple.
of
We
new-
wrote two for
Yeah.
one gig, but I don't remember them. He found one recently.
I found one in the archive somewhere.
yeah, no.
But we heard it and it's like more fucking B minus.
Not quite there yet.
See,
really
the thing is, when the reason we wrote so many songs initially was because whenever we turned up and we were practicing covers and all, and then we'd break into some shit and something would happen. Someone would bring some stuff. So if we're in a room long enough, we'll definitely write new songs. The problem is
Okay,
we're never been in the room long enough.
So if
To be able to
someone
look at
rounds up the
music.
four of us at gunpoint, puts us in a room, makes sure
just
we are
don't play any old
fed well, make sure our families are taken care of, we'll get a new album.
Yeah, that's true.
Seriously.
Yeah,
But I mean, it also goes to
Arjun and I might make it happen.
but it also goes to show the power of their original music. I mean, everybody who's coming to the show at iRock wants to hear the hits, and for a lot of bands, I remember there was a point in time I used to sell Bobby all these.
Sorry. I don't know. It was on airplane mode.
Lies.
Yeah, retake, sorry. Correct. Back to where you were.
When the
No,
levy
I
breaks.
sent Bobby covers that bands used to do of PSP.
yeah.
Yeah.
PSP
People
used to
were
be like and it was such a sort of 360 a moment, like a generational sort of shift where obviously by this time, I'd say by the late 2000s, early 2010s, early noughties, most bands, everybody just had to play original music. There was no question. I think the whole scene had totally changed by then, when nobody wanted to see bands come and play covers anymore. They wanted to hear your sound and everything. And then seeing bands cover an Indian band song, it was quite a big deal.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite
That's cool.
That is kind of cool.
No, that is very cool actually. And,
So I have some very random stuff. It's literally just very random things that people have
Okay,
told
smoke
me. So one is Warren was obsessed with Buffy the Vampire Slayer so much so that practice had to end before Buffy.
So, in the first year of our existence. I think
hard
before we
then.
even played Mood Eye, yeah.
Oh, I also know that Bobby has a pair of leather pants.
yeah.
Are you breaking them up from?
No, they're just not even going up one leg right now.
I was looking at whether I could fit into that Zero t-shirt that I had, where you guys are
Yeah.
stacking a pose.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yes,
but
sir.
Maybe around my thigh.
sorry to interrupt your question session
Go
with
for
a
it.
random memory from the era of Buffy. One day, Zero broke up. Okay.
Yeah, ask why.
because Bobby didn't bring a cable, and Warren got, I'm sick of giving you my cable. I'm going home.
Because every gig I would bring 2 cables, and I mean every practice I would use one, he would use one. But that day I had a new gear processor to try out, and I needed 2 cables. So I patched it in, and he's like, "Where's that cable?" I said, "I don't have it today to give you. I'm using it today." So then I got really, I was like, "I'll make you a cable. Just buy the parts." And, but I got really pissed off. And then they came to my house after 2 hours and they said, "What, man? What's going on?" I said, "Okay, cool. I'll join."
Pasha had to come and sweet
But
talk
you
her.
are a little bit of the perfectionist, no? Aren't you the one who's like, "Yo, please
Remember
play B
that
flat, play this." do
less
that."
than stellar? Remember that?
What is this?
Something I wrote, we cannot afford to be less than stellar for this gig or
No,
something.
see, I mean, all said and done, Warren is super talented. Warren has always been right from the start since the first time we saw Warren, and he's always been the guy who's always pushed us to do stuff.
Yeah.
And pushed us in a certain direction. At that point in time, when we first started, now he only plays classic rock.
On YouTube.
Now I'm old, I can do it.
Yes.
No, but it was
I
that,
am
and Warren's got this thing, right? Is when you listen to Warren playing, you know it's Warren, which is really interesting because when we first started the band, he's gone through so many things, like just from a gear perspective. I remember him buying his first guitar, and then we had some horrible amps. And then, we had this old radio amp, and we wanted distortion, and the only way we could distortion was bloody drive that thing. And it would there was no earthing. We had to take a wire and connect it to a pipe outside our house. And then we had to shave the pipe all
He
the
was
time.
the guy who would jiggle the wire to make sure the contact was made. And we're like, okay, it's fine. Leave it.
Don't move.
Yeah.
So he's always like, and then, with the recording and then stuff like that. So Warren's always pushed it. So yeah, I would say that. And
There's
fair play.
also-
But I will say one thing though, like the band gave me the courage to take off my specs and play guitar. Otherwise, I would be like,
But I do know that you're talking about the technical thing. Wasn't there like a Hyderabad gig
Oh, yeah.
that like the entire PA system, the organizer, and
Yeah.
I'm a sound guy. You guys only had to do those.
We read the manual and figured out how to rig the whole PA.
How are
And
you?
Yeah, because
serious?
I mean the thing is we always at that time, right, we didn't have the support structure to give us what we wanted. So we had a
Yeah.
certain sound in our head. We had a certain way we wanted things to go, and it was difficult getting it in Bombay. It was impossible getting it out of Bombay. So we would give these technical writers, say we want this. You go there, and there'd be one strange app.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, this is the scene that's going to happen. What are we going to do to figure this out?
Yeah.
I mean, there was PDV. I remember at that time. They used to go take all their gear.
Pin drop violence for the Gen Zs.
there were gigs like where there was
It's
no
true.
earthing. For example, you were playing on the boat and everything was buzzing. So we dropped a cable in the water to ground it, and then it worked.
Yeah, because the
he and
ground
your
is an infinite earth.
Yeah,
so,
we're like science students. So
Yeah.
I love it.
But this, I think,
Best.
so much DIY that used to happen back in the time. Sid used to always we've traveled with a drum kit to a lot of shows, and we've traveled by train to and have a drum kit plus amp. There'll be a guitar amp at some point. I used to carry my bass amp, so we'd literally go early to try and get that area just next to the toilet where you can stack all of your stuff. And then we take turns to kind of just make sure that no
It's
one's
all there.
taken anything off. So if there's station coming, we're like, okay, we need to go hang out and just see no one's touching our stuff. Because exactly the infrastructure for you to be able to kind of just perform, just get out there and like do your thing didn't exist. So to us, this was the only option. It wasn't like,
Fair enough.
let's not do it.
And the thing was, we were like, see, listen, if this doesn't happen, we're not going to play the gig.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
let's
exactly.
figure it out. And that's what we did. Like, we want to record the album. We said, well, there's no way that we're going to be able to afford a studio. What do we do? Let's figure it out. And we
Yeah.
figured it out. The same thing with the CD.
Yeah.
We put our own thing out and we said, what are we going to sell it at? People are like, you should be selling this at 500 rupees at that time.
500
And we were
rupees?
like, no. So we started selling our CDs at $50. And we're like, listen,
Nice.
we want to sell it at the price of a beer so that, no one's kind of pissed off about it. And then the other
Beer
bands got
used to
really
be
pissed
50
off.
bucks.
we are the original undercutters.
Not at Blue Frog. At Blue Frog, that beer was still like.
Yeah.
This is way
But
before
not at
Blue Frog, man.
And we were like in the lane behind.
No, I think that
Blue Frog.
50 thing was
Behind.
also like an act of rebellion, because I remember going into like fucking Rhythm House or whatever, and if you wanted to buy a CD, it was like 400
Yeah,
rupees.
400, 500 bucks.
I mean, shut up, fucking 500 rupees. Like,
525.
yeah, 525
Yeah.
rupees for like something like.
I used to buy it from the Middle East and I used to bring all my CDs and cassettes. Yeah.
Thompson Zindabad.
Thompson original.
Correct. So, last song you're gonna play for me today.
It's not PSP, that's for sure.
You know what? PSP is like an okay song. Imagine if I said that in public, people would literally murder me. I'd be buried in the
You are saying
ground.
it in public. This podcast is going out to the world.
I can
They'll
edit.
throw bananas at the screen.
How dare they?
Yeah, so the last song is actually the last song that we wrote that we still play.
It's called
Oh.
Take Me Away.
So, I was gonna ask what's it about, but maybe I should.
We have no idea what any of our songs about.
That's
I mean,
so
we
good.
did when we wrote it, but 20 years
Yeah,
on.
it's taken on its own kind of thing.
Like, I think Not My Kind of Girl is about some girl.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, who remembers this shit?
Some people do.
Not my kind of girl. Interesting factoid. We were playing a fete in Bandra.
Bandra, yeah.
And we were the band and then stuff like that. For some strange reason, someone decided that people can request songs. So,
God damn
so they
it.
went to us, and when we were playing, they wanted to request. Now, we had all originals, so they didn't know any of the songs. So it's like, okay, what original are we going to request? And I think this guy wanted to request something for his girl. And at that time, at that point in time, the song was called "My Kind of Girl."
Bracket, not.
And I don't know whether the knot was there or not, but this guy came up and says, oh, so-and-so would like to dedicate this song to his love and his girlfriend, my kind of girl. And we were like,
That's when we changed the name to Not My Kind of Girl.
Fair enough.
and we were like, okay, this is going to go well tonight. Nah, we played it. I don't know what happened after that.
Another factoid is at that gig, Sameera Kanwar, who is now married to Arjun, had come to
the
see
number one
us.
thing on my CV, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, married to Sameera Khanna.
That's the best thing you've ever done. True. Congratulate you for that.
Can't argue with that. Yeah.
She had come because she was at Sapphires at the time, and they had come to see us to see whether we were good enough to perform at Sapphires.
Those are when you wear your leather
and
chaps,
we were
no?
being judged, yeah. And that's the leather pants story. That's where it all comes about from.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then we played at Sapphires.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know this.
I did not know that.
I also know that like one of the key reasons, because Sam is an amazing human, was that Arjun's like, I will marry you because you know zero. Is that correct?
Really?
So, I mean, if it's not evident by now, I'm kind of obsessed with this band. But when, like, I knew about Sameera's work before I knew Sameera. She was making music videos and all these things for these bands and doing all this BTS content and stuff like that. And then we started seeing each other. And then, I realized she's Bobby's wife's best friend in life. And she was there for all of this stuff. And that, like, sealed the deal. I was like, let's get married.
And they're going to play at our wedding.
Yeah, and they're going to play at my wedding. Yeah. And then they did play at my wedding.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We allowed him to sing also.
Yeah.
We allowed him to sing.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And in the Zero launch of our procrastination CDs, in fact, where we were packing all of the CDs and, getting it ready for sale, they were literally sitting over there and putting in the inlay cards and putting the CD because we didn't have a sweatshop that way. So Delna and Sam and
boys had
It
grown
didn't
up.
come,
Yeah.
yeah.
they
That
became
was one
sweatshop.
of the key deciding factors of my relationship.
This is hilarious.
It's not embarrassing at all. I'm not embarrassed by this. only about to reach 40 years old.
Only.
Do you think you guys are as big as Pentagram right now?
Four of us were bigger.
None of us were
In size,
Bollywood.
right?
Purely size.
Right now,
Only purely size. Otherwise,
right now, have you seen Vishal? Yeah, we're bigger now.
Yeah.
Chirando's still thin, Shiraz is still thin, Papal is still thin. We're bigger than you motherfuckers!
That's the end of that.
Mission accomplished. Yeah.
Okay, so last song is Take Me Away.
Take it away.
Let's go.
Take it away, take me away. She.
I know I would see you tonight, even though I've never been true now. If you only stay here with me, I'd follow you. Why would you not give in to me? You know it's all you need to be free now. If you'd only see me lover, I'd follow you and take me away from this life and take me away from this life and take me away from this life and take me away from this life. The ancient light is feeding dewy. The sun is low, the air is so blue now. If we'd only come here, lover, I'd follow you. I know that we are through now, but I know we'd be foreseen now. If you'd only see it living, I'd follow you and take me away from this life and take me away from this life and take me away from this life and take me away from Take me